I thought I'd make you a quick video on how to create a surface with a couple of faders that send volume and expression CC messages and show how easy it is to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the package where I want to store the surface. Then I'm going to click the plus button here and select surface. And let's rename that custom faders. So what that's going to do, it's going to create a new surface, and we can click the edit surface button here, which takes us to the surface editor where we'll create the faders. So the first thing we need to do when we're creating a surface is we need to set it up so that it's going to work on your devices and it's going to work the way that you want it to work. So over here in the properties section, we're going to set the, you can set the width and height to whatever you want, or just leave it blank if you're happy with this size. And then you can change the resize mode to fixed or auto zoom to fit. And that basically, if I click the open surface button here, if it's on auto zoom to fit, that means that we can resize it to whatever size that we want. But if we want it to be fixed, the size that it is every time, we just leave it like that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to set the supported platforms. So if you want it to work on your Mac, then you can click the Mac OS. If you want it to work on your iPad, you can click this one. And you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner that a new icon appeared when I click this on my iPad that you can see down there. And so the next thing we need to do is select iPhone if we want it to work on that, and Android if we want it to work on that. Now, one thing to note is that the background color for iOS devices and the Mac devices differs. So if you scroll right down to the bottom here, you can set the background color for the Mac here and the background color for devices here. So I'm just going to set this to a gray value, this gray value here, so it shows up similar on the iPad. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create faders. So I'm going to select the fader button here from the Add Objects box. Then I'm going to draw a fader, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space underneath this. There are different ways of labeling the fader. We can have it so that the title comes over the slider here. And to do that, if we scroll down to, where is it, title? Scroll here to title, and we can change this to volume, like that. Or instead of that, we can remove that from there and we can paste it in here to have it over the top here. Or you can as well make a different, you can make a label here like this and create the label underneath. Make it the width you want, and then have the title in that, and you can change the font size. So say I want it to be 22, like that. So now what we want to do is we want to assign this to the correct CC value for volume. And I believe if I look on the net here, the CC for volume is 7. So we'll come over to here, select the fader, then we'll scroll down until we see the CC number property here, and then we just type in 7. So there's a few things to note with faders, is that you have some other options. You've got track control for relative or jump, and let me show you how that works. I'll just open up the surface editor on the Mac, or the surface on the Mac, and if I have this in relative mode, wherever I drag, so I can drag from here or actually on the slider, and that will change things. However, if I have it in jump mode, if I click anywhere, you'll notice it jumps to the spot that you're clicking at. So they're just two different ways. So I'm going to leave this as relative for the moment. And also you can set the start value. So at the moment the start value is 0, and the end value is 127. So in the start value property here and end value, you can limit these ranges. So say if you wanted to start sending a CC message of 50 and the end is 100. So now if I scroll this to the top, so it limits it to 150 at the bottom. Or you can reverse it round. So if you wanted to have the reverse, so 127 and 0 like that, would mean that that's 0 and that's 127. Let's take that back to what it was though. 0 and 127 like that. So now we've got this fader set up, and this is set up as volume with the CC of 7. Let's also, we'll close this and we'll create another fader. So what we can do is just select and grab both of these elements, the label and the fader. So the label and the fader here. And if we use Command D to duplicate, and then we can drag that over a bit like that. And then we can change this to be expression like that. And then we can change the fader to, I believe it's 11. So expression is 11. So we can change that to 11. And then also we can select these faders and we can change them to the color that we want. So say that's the color we wanted volume, and say that's the color that we wanted for expression. So now if I click on the custom fader button on my iPad in the bottom left, the volume and expression will come up on the surface there. So now if I head over to Pro Tools, and I'll just delete these. So here I have a MIDI instrument and I have assigned volume and expression. And so now if I hit record and start recording, and if I move the volume, that's going to adjust the volume, and expression adjusts the expression. And the cool thing is that we can control them both because there's multi-touch capability. So hopefully that helps you out. Let me know if you have any other questions, and give it a go. Rock and roll.